3 Count Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app, that's arenaeats.app, for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? There's been a little bit of buzz online as of late, and if you've been following along on SmackDown, you've kind of seen this rivalry between Otis and Tucky and the
Thank you.
No problem, and Miz and Morrison surrounding the Money in the Bank. And it kind of has a feel that the WWE maybe somewhat considering moving on from Otis as the Money in the Bank winner.
Oh yes, Chucky, we have our top suspect.
And potentially moving the briefcase to either Miz or Morrison.
Tomato chips.
So what is your guys' thoughts on Otis as the Money in the Bank briefcase winner, the journey so far, and I'm trying to remember. I don't know if I'm sure they've done it at some point where the briefcase has changed hands, but if the briefcase would change hands to a Miz or a Morrison or somebody else at this point, like, are you going to be upset to see Otis lose that opportunity, or has it kind of cooled off from the moment of him winning the Money in the Bank?
I hated it when it happened, but here's the thing. You're just setting a nasty precedence here if you do something like this. Like, when has WWE, like, with something this big, done the mea culpa and let's fix it? Like, aside from, I don't know, Daniel Bryan, when they tried to put him on the Wyatt family the first time, and we're like, yeah, we fucked up. Here's what you guys were clamoring for that we didn't listen to. Guess you really did want it. So
Spadudios.
Right. So at this point, for them to kind of backpedal, when, like, that was kind of the unexpected thing. I mean, we've seen worse people have the briefcase. Like, just let him have his cash in. He doesn't have to win. But to take it away from him now, it kills they're him. Gonna open up a whole can of worms moving forward if they put that briefcase in the wrong hands again.
Kobe.
Because people are gonna be like, well, you did it already. Why does Damian Sandow have to have it and cash in and lose to John Cena?
Right.
Why do we have to give this briefcase to Randy Orton again? So you made your decision. It was a shitty one, but you have to stick with it.
Yeah, I feel like, the minute you do that, it's the Money in the Bank version of you guys are the authority. Because anytime you do something that they don't like, it's just going to automatically be people are just going to get pissy and get mad, and they're not going to like the fact that their favorite guy didn't win the Money in the Bank.
WWE fans are very fickle. You cannot open Pandora's box.
I feel like that's a soundbite I need to get, is Daniel Bryan saying fickle.
Yeah, it's going to backfire if they do that. I understand their logic behind it, but you made your shit sandwich. You got to eat it and force a smile.
Ryan brought up a great point when we were reviewing Clash of Champions the other day, that you had like a minute and a half period that Orton and McIntyre were both in the back of the ambulance. Where the fuck was Tucky and Otis? Slam the doors. Guess what? Quick, hand the briefcase to the ref, slam the doors. You're WWE champion. And then you can get the hell out of there. which would have been freaking wild to see it.
Probably their best out to this whole thing, because then you can just have them drop it quickly.
Sure.
The next guy.
Yeah, have fucking Drew come out with a referee, Claymore his face off, and then you move on. And Otis has that kind of crowning moment, and that would also kind of get that could be your gateway into having Otis move to Monday Night Raw, where Mandy Rose is now as well. Mark, your thoughts on the Otis Money in the Bank?
Boy, good old Otis. I'll tell you, I was really surprised. I'm still when he won the Money in the Bank, and it started to grow on me, and I liked it. But I'll tell you what, now I think he's held on to it a little too long. And I'm not saying he should have won the title, but kind of I lost some interest in him over the last few months. I'll be honest with you. I just don't see him beating Roman Reigns or Drew McIntyre right now.
Oh my God! Can you imagine if he had beat the Fiend?
Oh wow! Yeah, you thought Goldberg was bad.
Jeez.
Yeah, that would have been really bad. I can't even think of like a storyline, except for you said maybe with the ambulance, but where they could have Otis come in. It just doesn't make sense to have him take the title off of Reigns or McIntyre. So, I think The Miz would be a good option if he somehow weaseled his way into the Money in the Bank. They did that with Mr. Kennedy. They took that from him and gave it to Edge. And Edge cashed in on The Undertaker on Undertaker was on SmackDown.
I was gonna say, I'm sure they've done it.
That was a big deal
before. Yeah,
and Mr. Kennedy isn't on the level Otis is in terms of like Mr. Kennedy is seriously to an extent. I mean,
who? Yeah.
I mean, he was
Mr. Kennedy.
He was in the David Arquette documentary.
Who? Former WCW champion. How dare I speak any negativity out there? And star of one of the best movies ever made, Ready to Rumble.
That's one of Ryan's favorites too.
That absolutely is.
See, that I saw on opening weekend.
I mean that's okay. I mean that's at least a wrestling movie. Like Ryan and I, and not that it wasn't a bad movie. Ryan and I went and saw Fighting with My Family opening weekend. That's a wrestling movie. I feel a little bit different, like Ryan going on a weekly basis to see the Tooth Fairy. That's just that's overkill.
That was kind of a low point in his life.
Yeah, just
ridiculous.
Yeah,
he was going to hosses and sneaking salad bar into his pockets just to snack on at the movies.
Just sitting there plucking out pieces of lettuce.
And ham cubes in one pocket and that warm bacon dressing. Handfuls of ham cubes. And then
Ryan.
Was that warm bacon dressing that he really likes?
He does. Yeah, he
in a pocket too.
He actually puts it into a soup cup and then drinks it with a straw. It's really off. It's really off-putting when you watch it happen in person.
Yeah, I mean, he would tell the people at the movie theater, "Don't put butter on the popcorn." He would just
I got it covered. Actually, dude, I know we're making jokes right now, but that would actually be delicious. Are you kidding me? Hot bacon dressing on popcorn? I think I just found my football snack for the weekend. Thank you, Matt.
Well, don't thank me. Thank Ryan.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Thank you, Ryan.
Ryan's love for the hot bacon dressing.
But yeah, we'll see where it goes. But I kind of do agree with you, Matt, that especially in the social media era, that opening this door kind of could be problematic. Lou says maybe he defends it against both of them, gets a little more of a push. I could honestly see it more that he uses it for he and Tucky to get a tag team title shot. Or something like he uses it for Mandy Rose to get a women's title shot. Like he's kind of like this selfless guy that doesn't need to do it for himself.
Okay. So, I mean, they didn't technically have the women's cash in, so he transfers
Yeah,
I mean, Tim, you have a briefcase, right? Do you have the contract? Like, what does it say?
I didn't get the deluxe briefcase, so it did that one didn't come with the contract inside. But also too, like, and I still think that that Otis, I feel like them, and obviously they knew it was coming, but depending how far in advance they had the idea of Otis being the Money in the Bank winner, I feel like the idea of him being the quick turnaround cash in was where they were going, and then it was like, oh crap, Becky has to forfeit the title to Asuka. So like that kind of changed the ball game as well. So Three Count Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app. That's arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? John Cena was on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon this week. Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon discussed, he has a children's book out, but when asked about his wrestling future, he said that he a very young audience in WWE, lots of kids and family. As my in-ring career with WWE is not as active, although not over, I wanted to continue sending messaging to those younger viewers. So John Cena has, he is on record and saying that he is not done wrestling, obviously not nearly as active as he used to be. So, and obviously, I still think that at some point he is going to get championship reign number 17, whether it's a couple of month reign or it's like literally his final match. Because I think at times, like, that was kind of a hypothesized end to the Undertaker's career, that he would get a title shot, win it, and then forfeit it and walk away. That kind of almost makes more sense for a person like John Cena. And like, I just feel like the WWE loves to break records and establish like new, current, updated records. So the idea of somebody having number 17, I feel like, why not do it to John Cena, the modern day Hulk Hogan, if you will? So I still think that's going to be a thing. But we'll go to Matt, obviously, and Mark. Who do you like? How do you envision, or what do you want to see like John Cena's role over the next year or two be in the WWE? And is there any person or persons that you would want to see him come back and face? Obviously, we just came off of the Firefly Funhouse match at WrestleMania against The Fiend, and what was a pretty fun thing. But is there anything else that that you would kind of want to see him do before he finally does hang him up?
Well, Jim, I'm sure you remember last time I said that John Cena will be wrestling the main event of WrestleMania against Randy Orton and Ric Flair. Winner takes 17, and that's the end of that. So I do think that would be a fun match if they ever went that route. If not, it's kind of tough to say at this point what kind of big match he would even get up for. He doesn't really fit in to either of the pictures with Roman or with Drew, in my opinion. So do we see him kind of take on a lesser role, kind of like he reinvigorated the U.S. title for that reign? Does he insert himself into something like that? Call me crazy. What if John Cena went to NXT and
Dude, sign me up?
Started like a feud down there, put over someone down in NXT in that regard. So I think there are endless possibilities with what John could do. And he loves the business enough that I think he would be open to doing something like that. You know, we've always said that when John goes out, it's going to be putting someone over, like he did with the Fiend in the Firefly Funhouse match. Um, so who would I like to see him get involved with? Push Adam Cole to the moon. Put John Cena in a feud with Keith Lee. Push him to the moon. Someone in that regard, someone fresh out of NXT that needs that push. I would love to see him do that, and then just kind of take the Rock route and go back into Hollywood, because John is a good actor in the films that he's in. He knows his niche and he fits it well.
Yeah, I mean, although I feel like the Keith Lee spot, I feel like that's got Brock Lesnar written all over it. After that moment at the Royal Rumble, like.
Sure, but is Brock really that guy to do that?
Probably not, but I mean, at some point, and I don't know how much Brock has left, and obviously, I think all of anything to do with Brock also hinges on when fans get back in the building, because I don't think we see Brock back before there's fans, financially for the WWE as well. But like, I feel like the relationship that Vince and Brock have, Vince could be like, hey, we really want to do big things with this guy. That you could get Brock to do it. Like from the Money in the Bank through the WrestleMania this year, like that was a Brock Lesnar that I truly didn't think we were ever really going to get. Like, the Brock party stuff and the boom box and the run dancing in the ring and just the way that he sold and acted everything in the Rumble. So I think sky is somewhat the limit with Lesnar as well at this point in his career. I think there's a lot of intrigue there, but yeah, definitely. Like I would love to see Cena in an NXT role. That'd be fantastic. Enter Mark.
Let's see. As far as Cena returning, it's going to happen at some point. I'm sure it won't be full time, but he'll come back and he'll take his 17th world title. It's going to happen. It's just a question of when. If the fans were back in time for WrestleMania in the arenas, I could almost even see Cena and Reigns at a WrestleMania match. And Ric Flair, honestly, if even though it's not necessarily considered him losing the title or winning the title, he had his title reigns, I think, were up into the 20s, even though they're not really recognized as actual the title changing hands. It happened in Puerto Rico with, I think, Carlos Colon, and it happened in Japan at least once or twice. But yeah, he'll break Flair's 16-time record, there's no doubt. And Cena coming back, I mean, NXT would be perfect. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but boy, that would be ideal. If I had to see him come back to a brand, that would be my pick.
Yeah, I mean, sadly, if I had to venture a guess sitting here tonight, my guess would be that it probably does not happen. But I also agree that I don't think we've seen the end of John Cena in the WWE. Just the how much we see him will remain to be seen. Recount Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app, that's arenaeats.app, for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order?